Fine, we're live.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Time to drink something to wake
Oh,
me
and
up.
there's like screens flashing. It's like super delayed. Oh my goodness.
Oh
so
my
much delay.
goodness.
Welcome everybody. We've got a huge show today to the point where we usually start like 5-10 minutes early to like talk crap and like get into it. But like we've been talking for the last half hour because of the amount of stupid crap happening in the world right now. In the gaming world, that is. Welcome to the State of the Beanstalk. Casper, how has your week been?
Oh, it's really good. And those sentiments echo about the crazy crap. Yeah, because I find the closer we get to the console, like, reveals and, you know, actually get our hands on them, there's more and more, I guess, philosophies coming up from the world out there, from the people. They're like, oh, this console's better, this console's better, this console can't do this, now it can do this, these developers say it's amazing, and it's like, who do we believe? Like, everyone's got their own theories, and supposedly everyone's got their own end people.
We've got a topic on that, don't we?
I think so.
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
But would you have it any other way? The war of the consoles? It's fun, isn't it? Isn't it just absolutely hilarious when people fight so much? Especially for something so...
And I want to share something later down the line why the console wars are over.
Oh, you heard it first here, my friends. The console wars are over. Reporting live from Casper's house.
State of the Beanstalk, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of topics. We're going to talk about the Fortnite saga of, Apple and Google and the App Store. I think it's hilarious. Do you think it's funny?
I think it's a bit insane. It's like Battle of the Giants.
Battle of the Giants. And what else are we talking about?
So we got controller leak. That's led to further rumors.
So has it got like a water cooling inside that cools the controller and cools your hands and started leaking, or what's going on?
Maybe. Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
And we've got some... Yeah, well, actually, we'll just tie it into the controller one and we'll skip on that. Halo Infinite delayed, if you don't already know. But it's pretty terrible. Yeah. And we've also got some... What's this one?
Some ad blocks.
Ad blocker.
Okay. Yes.
This is the one.
The Ps5 Smack Talk.
Smack Talk.
Yeah.
And we've got a question from the Discord that we'll talk about today in regards to Xbox or PlayStation 5. And we've got some tech news related to the new Microsoft phone. Oh. How exciting.
I'm excited about this. I know very little, so I want to know what...
Okay, good. So I'll tell you all about that. So welcome everybody, and we've got a few people on. Hey Yellow, hey Laughing Logic, brackets Adam, and let's get started with the intro. And we're back. All right, let's start with Fortnite.
Oh God.
Oh God. So let me give you a bit of background, I suppose.
All right.
Actually, no, you give me background. I think you know a little bit more. I know a little bit more on the development side. So
right. So this is what I understand. Where I saw the news is that Epic Games has been removed from the Apple Store and also the Google Store because they're doing something dirty by having in-game purchases, which is breaching the rules and regulations of both Apple and Google Store, where any in-app purchases actually have to go through these two giants, and they usually get like a 30% cut,
which is huge. Which is huge. Some applications or app developers can't afford to give 30% off their cost,
and it's massive. And so Fortnite has an actual option within its own software within the game to actually purchase directly from them. And now that,
I was just gonna say that the way they've done it is very clearly a statement.
Yeah.
It's not just trying to skirt around. Because Audible, Amazon's platform, when they have a book or anything they want to buy, the way they get around it is by giving you credits that you buy on the website, but then you use the credits within the app to get books. Oh. So they like fake it in a way. And, you know, Amazon doesn't want to give away 30% of their revenue to anyone like Apple or Google. So that's a way to get around it.
Wow. Yeah. And so basically now Epic is countersuing both Apple and Google to say, hey, you guys, we don't want any money from you, but we're basically stating that you guys are evil and you are going against everything that when you first opened up or when they first started, they made their own statement to be like, hey, you know, we're very much against the giants, but now they've become those giants that they've hated a long time ago.
That's right. So what we have to have a look is a video that Fortnite made. Now, the timing of this is interesting because once they got removed, this video came out really quick.
Yeah, and instantly.
To me, it sounds like they were prepared for a fight. I think this was pre-prepared, pre-done, and they were going to go full out war with this. I don't know. Maybe they thought they're big enough to take on Apple and Google, but I've got some thoughts about why Apple and Google are in the right, but I'll hold on to that. So let's have a look at that video.
All right.
Let me share my screen and we'll have a quick watch. It's only 48 seconds, so it shouldn't be too much. Here we go. Laptop controls, and let's have a listen.
Today, we celebrate the anniversary of the platform unification.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, I get it. The Apple. Wow, it's like...
In exchange,
Well, it's like a worm coming out of his head.
our profits, our control. This power is ours and ours alone. We shall
So...
prevail.
Do you get to buy that outfit? I reckon that outfit will be so popular.
Oh, it's on sale
game.
right now on the
is it?
Epic Store. You can buy this outfit, and you can probably buy that little axe.
Look
Of
at
course.
that statement. Apple was blocking Fortnite from 1 billion devices. Join the fight to stop 2020 from becoming 9. Is that actually Epic Games' statement?
Yeah.
What? So like
This is on their Fortnite channel.
so
this
they're
is
trying.
their
Whoa,
official
almost
channel.
10 million subs. So they're trying to rally the people. So they have a lot of pull. 10 million people is a lot.
Are your thoughts on that statement?
Ah.
Is that like, to me, this is like a Hollywood movie.
This is like a Hollywood movie. This is basically like, I guess, the battle of the egos to be like, hey, we're actually big enough to stand up to you in a way.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible to see that a company like Fortnite's coming out and doing something like this. Because this is... only in movies does this sort of event happen when you take on the big dogs and you're really punching up with like statements like, don't make this in 1984, because if anybody has read the books or at least watched the movie or at least read the Wikipedia page, you'll know that 1984 is not really much of a joke. It's not like it's not funny
It's
anymore.
like fascism to the extreme, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the comparison is very substantial. Like, again, this is a game and this is just an app, but I think it goes a little bit deeper because we are in a, what do you call it, duopoly?
Duopoly, yes.
Where we have billions, not just billion, there's billions of devices out there, and either running Android, created by Google, or running Apple's OS, iOS. And so the whole ecosystem is controlled by these two companies.
Yeah.
One thing, Google, you can sideload things. That's besides the point. But nonetheless, let's say we're just fighting Apple here. They have 1 billion devices under their control. They built those devices. And this is me coming from the Apple side. We built this ecosystem.
Right.
We built these devices. We let you jump in here into our app ecosystem so you can distribute to our customers, because technically they're Apple's customers. We charge 30% for you to be a part of it if you want to charge money through it. That's the rules. It just doesn't seem so complicated. And they've defended this multiple times.
So is it because now that these two major corporations, because they own, so it's Android and Apple iOS, right?
Yeah.
That's because it's basically the software. It's
That's
like
right.
It's like Microsoft having Windows.
That's right.
So if further parties come around and be like, hey, we have our own software on the phones, they can do that, can't they?
So that's the problem. the hard part about redeveloping like a operating system for a phone is the fact that you need app developers to be a part of it. You need users to be a part of it. So without users, app developers won't make apps for it. And this has been proven by Microsoft's OS, which is dead now, unfortunately, even though they bought Nokia. So Windows had their own app system, their own operating system for their phones. Do you remember like the little scrolly bar, like boxes?
Yeah.
I thought it was quite innovative.
That was like when Windows 8 was around.
It looked like that. I actually quite liked it. I had a phone, a Microsoft phone for a little while.
Me too.
It was
Windows phone.
Yeah, Windows phone. Oh, I actually liked the menu and the way you got around it, but the apps weren't quite ready yet. They weren't working well because they were developed like on the side by like third-party companies. They were contracted to like big companies like Facebook and so on. So that's a limitation. So that's why it's hard to now join this race, because to do that, you have to have first of all, a device that's running it. You have to support it. Then you have to get people on it to buy your device.
Right.
And then developers are like, oh, there's people there. Maybe we should develop for it. But if there's not enough people, it's like a chicken and egg thing.
So if anyone can do it, Microsoft would be the one to do it successfully.
Well, they tried.
Okay. Who sells the most phones? Is it
Android?
But I mean, like company-wise.
I think it's Apple still.
Is it? So Apple phones sell the most in the world.
I think it's either maybe Samsung. Actually, if somebody in the comments can let us know. But
so if Samsung decided to be like, hey, we're gonna create our own thing, because they have such a giant consumer base.
Here's something: Samsung have their own app store on the Android shop. Yes, but see, that's the thing with Android. Android is a little bit more open than Apple's iOS. iOS is like fully locked down. Like to do anything third party, you have to like jailbreak it, which voids like technically it shouldn't void your warranty, but they say it does. It doesn't.
Yeah.
By law, it doesn't, because you haven't actually tampered with anything. You know, like it's your own device. But then you won't have access to things like Apple Pay, and you might not have access to like certain other features that Apple provides, because you technically your device has been tampered with. There you go. Ritish says Samsung.
Okay.
Yeah. So Apple's a lot harder to add a side-loaded app, but Android, not so much. So yeah, the fact that they removed it from the Google Store doesn't really mean much. You can still just download the APK on the side.
So Android is the cooler of the two. So Apple is the true fascism.
Yeah. I mean, technically speaking, if you were to compare who the villain in 1984 would be, Apple would be a perfect mantelpiece to it.
My God.
Because they're actually doing it in a way there's no freedom for the user at all. Like, first of all, you all remember the original ad where they threw the hammer, right? To break down, I think they're breaking Windows and Dell. I think it was Dell and all those.
Right.
Was it HP at the time?
Probably. IBM.
IBM, that's it. Yeah, Dell and IBM. IBM, I think was.
IBM's like nothing today. I don't think they exist.
I think they exist in the enterprise space still.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I spoke to a guy that works for IBM. I said, "You work for IBM?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Where's your office?" He's like, "Oh, at Watercorp." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Right, yeah. There's two places.
So he's like, so they contract people to work at big corporations to take care of their system. Because IBM still provides a lot of like very specialized devices with very special software that's only supported by them. I mean, they're a dying breed. Like you can get a device now, like an Android device or a tablet that plugs into like special scanners and does it all for you. But they have like, let's say I'm doing some road work or something, and you can end up using just a generic device. But sometimes back in the day, they'd have like fully developed, specialized devices that only run on like IBM code, like Windows 98. Like, I shit you not, there's still shit that works on like XP because they can't update, and if they do, they lose access to it.
Wow.
So,
damn. Okay, this is where the world's going.
So Apple is technically a bit of a fascist in that sense, but I suppose the question here is, does that actually matter? Like, from their point of view, they created the ecosystem. You don't have to be a part of it. Like, you can go to Google. I mean, again, they've lost access to Google too, but you don't have to be an app developer on Apple. But then what they're saying, I guess what they're suing for, and you had an interesting point before. They're not actually asking for any money.
Yes, that's right. The countersuit is, they're not asking for any money at all. They're basically making a statement that, hey, you guys were against everything now that you've become. So they're looking at them changing their ways and how they operate, which may impact. I don't think anyone's going to cave here. I don't, like you said, probably Apple and Google are just gonna sit back and say, "Hey, you don't like it? Go away." And that's probably what's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna share the link because I forgot to do that.
Yeah, if that's the future of the world.
I guess this has come up before, and every time a lawsuit has come up against Apple, they've actually defended it. So they haven't lost anything. They've usually been winning.
Exactly, and they have like a bazillion lawyers and lots of money to throw at the problem.
They technically, you could say that they have become their own villain. What's that saying that goes?
Oh yes, you could die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's right. So they've kind of become that. So I suppose it would have to be their goodwill to do something about it. But one thing I read in an article, and I think it's one of these here. I wanted to share. Here we go.
Fortnite is so colorful.
Epic says have already installed those on Apple. In the statement said they were okay. Okay, so this is what they said in the statement. Apple said that the rules were applied equally to every developer, but added that they would try to work with Epic to bring Fortnite back. This is absolute bullshit. They do not apply the rules equally because they have deals with certain applications for less than 30%.
Aha! Liar, pants on fire.
I guess they're just saying like for apps themselves, but they have. There's applications out there, and I don't think it's Netflix or anything. It's one of the other ones. Can't remember which one it was. Yeah. But they have special enterprise deals for like 15%.
I bet they would.
So what Apple is doing is going, look, we don't deal with terrorists, right? We don't
negotiate with terrorists.
That's right. But I think they do with really, really big terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. With very dangerous terrorists.
And Fortnite is only worth 30 million.
30 million?
30 million in like revenue out of their 4.8 billion that the App Store brings.
I thought it's 46 billion.
Oh, 46 or 48 billion or whatever.
48 billion.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So they're chump change.
It's a drop in the ocean. Apple doesn't care, and they'll defend themselves. They're going to lose. So we read a few analysts this afternoon saying, yep, they're going to lose. Epic's going to lose. The only thing they have going for them is they're not asking for damages. That's the only thing. So they've got the people's favor.
All right.
And I wanted just to share what they've actually done with that pricing that you mentioned.
Look at that. Sneaky.
So they've actually been quite sneaky in that regard. They've actually come out and said, look, if you pay via Epic Direct Payment, you'll actually save money. So that's a direct, like they're not even hiding it. They're like, hey, pay the Apple way, you'll pay $10. But if you go directly through us, it's cheaper.
$8.
And it even says a discounted
price.
Discounted price.
Yeah.
So I think they're going a little bit, they're going a little bit further than, than just.
Yeah, that's pretty sneaky.
Yeah, it's very sneaky. So, yeah.
Wow.
Shall we?
Okay, what's next on?
Shall we move on? Yeah.
We'll let the Giants battle it out. See what happens.
Yeah, I'm keen to see what happens, but we're not going to see anything for the next couple of years because more than likely the actual case is going to go on for many years,
decades,
and unless here's the thing, right? Do you remember that movie Spartacus?
Well, I don't think I've seen it. Is it the one where he stands up and he says, "I'm Spartacus"?
Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So the thing with that is, I know that it ended really badly for everyone because I think they hung everyone anyway, or killed
that's
them all.
Horrific.
But the idea is that if everybody stands up, they really can't do anything again. Like if everybody on the Apple Store who is in this issue or has this problem, they all stand up and say,
"I'm Spartacus."
Spartacus. Then Apple might take action, but at this point in time, $30 million for 48
So they
billion.
need a big hit. So there needs to be at least half the people to really start pulling out.
Imagine if every single app developer just pulled their app from the App Store.
That would be the biggest disaster for Apple.
Yeah,
they would this stock price would follow. It would just tank so hard. There'd be so much panic, and they'd probably go straight into they declare bankruptcy.
Oh no! Immediately. They've got so much cash in islands that they've been pushing offshore because Apple, Microsoft, everybody out there is the biggest tax dodger there is. They're amongst the wealthiest in regards to cash reserves that they can't actually touch. Because the amount of tax that they'd have to pay to even touch that money is just insane.
I think there was Ireland who was like, hey guys, you owe us like $1 billion or something. Or something ridiculous. It was like hundreds of billions of dollars. Because you pay like 0.0015% tax.
Yeah.
And I think eventually Apple was like, yeah, you're right, we're going to pay some of that back. Like they obviously know they're really pushing the boundaries here. So.
Yeah, Ratish says here they still have reduced the rate on Xbox and PlayStation, but both Microsoft and Sony still take 30%. I'd like to add that Project xCloud from Microsoft, which is their subscription-based gaming thing, like on demand, that got removed from the Apple Store. Because two things. Yeah. Apple has their own little gaming thing, which is what's it called, like Apple Arcade. That's the one.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Apple Arcade.
And they want people on that because you subscribe and you get all these games.
Yeah.
But Project xCloud is kind of like, hey, we're like the arcade, where if you join this, you get access to all these thousands of games, which is directly in competition for their Apple Arcade. That is why they can't do it. The only way Project xCloud could work is if Microsoft created an app for every single individual game. And not just have a game an app that launches all the games.
Oh my god, an app for every game.
That's the only way they could skirt around the Apple laws.
Insane.
Because them building like an Apple Arcade thing is literally going against their business, the Apple's directly competing in their own ecosystem.
So they could make like millions of Game Passes.
You'd have to be
like Game Pass, one game in it.
Yeah, you would. You'd have to have an app per game.
Whoa, I bet you Phil Spencer's sitting with the team and he's like, guys, how can we split every game?
But it's just such, like, if you got hundreds of games, you'd have hundreds of these apps. It's just illogical. And Apple, in that regard, I think is just, it's ridiculous. But again, to them, it's the right business choice because that goes against their Apple Arcade.
Whoa. But then, like, Microsoft would saturate the store so much, be like, hey, we have like 2,000 apps regarding Game Pass. What's this about?
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. Yeah. Like maybe the major games. Maybe Halo comes out as an individual game. And in itself advertises how Project xCloud can be like so cool.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Can you have your own adverts inside your own apps?
Yes, as long as they don't point anybody to go buy something else. So you can talk about xCloud and be like, hey, it's this great thing. Look at all the games. But you can't be like, here's a link to sign up.
Oh, you can't do that.
No.
You can't link them to your...
No.
Oh, okay, what a shame.
All right.
I'm trying to find loopholes.
I know, and we could sit here all day and talk about this, but it's just, it's ridiculous. And Apple has become their own worst enemy.
Yeah, I think
so. Or they've become 1984, whatever.
Yeah.
All right,
Xbox. Wow, that was a big topic. Okay, back to Xbox again. So, something exciting, I guess, because somebody's found, or got a hold of, a controller for the Xbox Series S. Oh.
So the Series X, X and S. It's like
X
you
and
couldn't
S.
worse.
Basically, it's a controller that
they couldn't choose worse names.
It's for both. How come?
S and X. X and S. Like, the way some accents, like sometimes mine, it sounds like I'm saying S, but I'm saying X. X, S, S, X.
So all they need is like E now, and they've like completed the letters.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what's this then? What are we looking at here?
Okay, so what we're looking at is a product that states do not sell or display before the 6th of November. And what's inside there is basically a controller. Right. And we see, 6th of November. Well, basically, you've just outed the release date of the Xbox Series X and the S.
Wow.
To concurrently be released on the 6th of November. So now we know. Unless, what? Are they going to change this? I don't think so.
Well, hang on. Do not sell or display before. Maybe it goes on display on the 6th and then only sells on the 7th. But I don't know. That seems a bit too hard.
I think you would have it displayed on the day you sell.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think
and so. It pans out because I think the 6th is a Friday. If we have a look at which is the day.
I'll bring up my calendar. Hang on.
The 6th of November.
The 6th of November, the day. Well, no, what was the thing from that mask thing? The day of November, the 6th.
Oh, the
5th of November.
The 5th of November. Oh, yeah.
Fireworks.
I'll always remember the 5th of November of gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
There it is. Got him.
Got him.
So yeah, it's Sunday for us.
Wait, no, that's December.
Sorry.
Oh,
sorry. Friday, yeah.
Yeah, Friday.
for
Okay,
us.
cool. And they're saying that PS5 releases on the 20th, supposedly. So 2 weeks after that on a Friday.
And when is Cyberpunk?
A day before. Ba-boom! Oh! It all aligns.
If anybody watched that episode 2 of Night Wire, yeah. Fuck me. They just, like, can you just release it already? Like, the amount of hype train they're creating, if it crashes, it's going to crash really badly. Like, the bigger they are, right? The bigger the fall.
The bigger the fall, yeah. But I don't think they will. I think this is why we've had... How many delays? I've lost count. We've had a couple of delays, right? 2 or 3.
So it was supposed to be February. Then March.
Then March, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like a little bit later, March, right?
Yeah, like a couple months later, and then September.
Oh, and then September.
Oh, no, sorry, November.
Wait, so
it's 2, technically 2, because the first one to that one and then.
Oh wait, was it February, April, September, November?
Oh, maybe there was no. I don't think there was a September in between.
There wasn't?
No.
Okay, well that's.
But I thought it was. I actually had it in my calendar. September. Go buy Cyberpunk.
When it was November.
But it was November. And actually, I was in Europe at the time, and I remember I texted you. I said, "Hey Casper, I'll be in Poland. I'll go buy like a whole like the really cool pack."
Yeah.
Because it was like cheap over there, collector's
yeah.
edition. And you're like, but it's like out in April. I'm like, I thought it was February.
February. Yeah, that's right.
So what's the Xbox S? That's like the.
This is the model that we believe we know about. We know it's there. It exists, but it hasn't even been revealed yet.
Is it the digital only, or is it like a cut down version? Is it the cut down one we were talking about?
Yeah, we believe it's a cut down, and it'll also be digital. So save the costs on the fact that you don't have a disc player, but also it's very much cut down in process power for the GPU solely, but the CPU is supposed to be the same.
Yeah. It's hard to cut costs on a CPU because you still get the same wafer.
Yeah.
It's the same wafer, and GPU's got a few more bits in it.
When I hear that, I'm like, waffles, yum.
Yeah, the wafers, man.
The wafers,
like the wafers never change size. The dies are smaller and smaller, and you can get more on the thing. Anyway, okay, so where does this lead to? Because I think, do we have a picture of it?
The very next case, which is, and the guy did a video, I think, as well, where he's basically unboxing it, playing around with it, and there it is. That's your next-gen controller for the Xbox.
And that's for both X and S.
Yeah, so you'll see a little pamphlet or some sort of an instruction booklet which states it. Can we zoom in? Can we do like a CSI?
Ooh.
Like CSI Miami?
We need to go deeper.
We need to go deeper.
Let us know if you guys see that, because I'm not sure how that's looking on the thing.
Oh, we scroll up. Oh yeah, look at that. We're almost there. And then enhance.
Enhance.
There you have it. Xbox Series X/S. Ba-boom.
That's not a slash. That's a pipe symbol.
Right.
I just being specific here.
What's a pipe symbol?
That's a pipe symbol.
What does that mean?
It's this one separator. Here. It's like a separator.
Oh, it's a separator, right?
It's used for when you write a code and you want to send a single string, but you want to have different data in it. You can use that as a separator, and the computer, the code could be like every time there's a separator. Yeah. I just want to read what's in between the two separators.
Okay. The key bits of information. Yeah. Right. And so it's there.
So Xbox One. So this is still backwards compatible. Thank you, Microsoft.
Well done.
Oh my God, PlayStation, Sony. How hard is that?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty bad, right?
It's so stupid. Yeah. Windows 10. Oh, my mouse just died.
No, we're back in it.
Android and iOS. It's a shame that there's no Project X slide on iOS though.
Wow.
Okay, and then what?
It's still on batteries.
Are you serious? This is like 2020.
Yeah, I know, and Phil Spencer had some sort of a rationale. Oh, actually, that's another thing that we could talk about. Big deal that came up with the Ps5 controller.
All right. Okay.
Which we can look up next if you want to link it.
Yeah.
To
Let's. Okay. So first of all, is there any more photos that we need to have a look at in this?
Oh, I think he'll have actual. Oh, what's this?
Oh, this is the actual thing.
Oh yeah, he's actually like holding it, and there you go. It's like powered up. And because it's backwards compatible, you can use it now. But it has like an added button or feature that still doesn't operate.
That one there, it looks like a share button.
I think so. And I think that because their controllers don't have it yet, so that's why.
No, that's right. Is there anything else?
There's another guy who has one as well, and he like unboxes it. He's like in his car or something. He's like, check it out, guys.
He really couldn't wait, to get home and set up a proper camera.
Yeah.
All right, I'll zoom out now, and there you go, reset. Okay, so what was the one with PS5?
All right, so the PS5 controller. We got details on battery size. Battery Susie.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. 1,560 milliamps, which is almost double the size of the original DualShock 4 controller,
800
which was 800. Yeah. But then Sony did a reiteration, a newer version of the controller of the PS4.
Of the PS4, yeah.
Which is 1,000 milliamps. So because they realized, hey, our controller is pretty weak, let's bump it up a bit. It still wasn't as powerful. You know, I think you get it up to maybe a maximum of 6 hours on a PS4 controller.
So the rationale here is, okay, we bumped it up. It's not, you can't just take it in and out or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like 50% more powerful now.
But how does that compare to the Xbox One then?
I don't know. How big is the Xbox battery?
Well, 2 AA's, right?
Yeah, well...
Here we go. We're going on adventure, folks. How many milliamps? How many... I think it's milliamps. Is a AA
battery.
Oh my god.
Oh, we need like a electrical engineer.
Here we go.
400 to 900 milliampere hours.
Oh, okay. So batteries. 2 of them is 1,600. So it's about the same size.
Yeah, but like, don't they run out faster? Than a lithium battery?
Well, I think my understanding of that is that the lower it gets, the less powerful it is. Like the voltage goes down and stuff. But so does a lithium. Like at 80%, lithium starts to actually lose like a lot of power.
So what's this thing? Like, do you recharge these batteries like inside the controller?
So you can just buy rechargeable batteries.
Okay.
They stick out of the back and you can pop them out.
Yeah.
But you can also recharge them through putting it in the cable.
So what's better? Is it better to have an integrated one or to have these replaceable ones?
Chat, let us know below.
Yeah, which one would you prefer and why? Like,
oh, did we lose video?
Oh, did we? What happened?
No, we didn't.
This is error.
Let's check the stream health.
Hey, chat, are we still alive? Oh, we got what? 5,000. What was that last comment? 5,000 milliamps in total.
That's a lot.
And what's that? And a Loop Pro
is 2,000. Oh, that's a controller.
Oh,
that's a separate controller. Yeah. Error. Your YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. Such viewers will experience buffering. Can anybody let us know if you guys are actually experiencing?
Yeah. Why are we getting poor activity?
Because nothing's
being loaded or downloaded. Unless we got something playing in the background.
No, it looks...
Oh, is he a laptop?
No. It should be alright. No. Laptop's fine. 33% usage. Chrome. Still live, guys.
Still live. Thank you.
God,
we're alive. Okay.
Okay, so look,
yes.
I have this thing with my controller.
Yes.
And I find that the problem is... because I got both an Xbox and a PlayStation 5. I enjoy just recharging it via cable. And I never find it fully charges...
Yeah.
With my rechargeable batteries through the controller. And it's bulky and it's got this like little pack underneath. And it's just...
It just adds weight to it.
It just adds weight. That's not necessary because you can put it inside, thing. It's just... It's just old. It's like we don't, I guess...
It feels outdated, right? But
yeah, sorry, one more thing. If you leave these things long enough and you come back to it, they could leak. The batteries could leak and wreck your controller.
Does that still happen? I feel like that technology has been removed from the batteries.
But, most of the time it's kids who use this. They might put in crappy batteries. Batteries that don't have that protection.
Like heavy duty, really cheap. Yeah,
and
the
imagine
acid.
Parents would be buying, they need another battery. I'll just buy the cheapest ones. Like,
I don't
real life is a little bit different than what Microsoft thinks
fantasy.
is fantasy.
Yeah. So we got MMBB9 says that replaceables are better, so your controller is never obsolete. See, I guess that's the perk of it, right? Because you can always have a fresh group of batteries in there, and it just lasts longer. Whereas you have the lithium integrated over time, it degrades, and then you get less and less and less.
Didn't that happen to your controller?
I think on the PS3 maybe, because I had that for a long time. But the PS4 is no problem because it's still quite fresh.
Yeah,
it's like 9 months old. The controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I look MMBBBB9. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But I'd like to add that how long are you going to have the console for, and what's going to give way first, your thumbsticks or the battery?
Yeah. If you buy, okay, I'm planning to buy my PS5 day one. So I'm going to have it the whole gen, which is 5 to 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I'd imagine after like 3 or 4 years, that controller is going to be struggling like crazy, right? I'm probably going to fully charge it and maybe get a couple of hours out of it. Tops.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But in saying so, I'll probably have like accumulated a couple of extra controllers by then, right? As well. So maybe that won't be as bad. And
I think it's two different approaches, and I technically I think I agree with both of them. But what I'd like to see out of Xbox is an actual because the thing sticking out of the back is kind of crappy, but I think you can integrate a battery that you can swap out. I think swapping out batteries is good because then, like, you know, like a lot of the time, iPhones or Androids, the way they become obsolete is the battery just doesn't hold charge, and all you have to do is just go open it up and swap out the battery. So it'd be good if we could take a cover off the back. I don't know, maybe a little screwdriver, put in a new lithium one. Like, it's not that hard.
That'd be nice.
Because I've got you know your Logitech headphones, the ones you have.
Yeah.
They have a little battery that you can unplug, and it's like a little lithium one.
Oh.
You can actually take off the cover, unplug it, put in a new fresh one. If it ever sort of starts to malfunction, close it, and off you go.
I mean, a camera has it. This one we're using right now. The Sony Alpha 6400 has a lithium battery. Pop, pop.
Yeah. But I suppose, I mean, these batteries are much more accessible to people, so...
Maybe they just want you to buy new controllers. That's Sony's tactic to be like, yeah, making money.
I think they're going for the looks and the sleekness of it.
Oh, I suppose so.
Yeah, because it's like this fat belly. Like, the controller's just been drinking beer all year, and it's just like, it just hangs down. It's just, I don't know. And you know, if you've got big hands, you kind of can't get quite in there, and it's just, you can't touch your pinkies in there. That kind of...
Yeah. All right. Put a lot of thought into this.
So anything else on that DualSense controller? The fact that the battery is going to be...
Nah, look, I think there's a guy that's basically, a guy got his hands on the controller, and then he's giving a bit of insight into it as well. Yeah. He's like, it feels good. The triggers feel amazing. He said the clicks of the buttons feel a lot better. It feels like quite premium. Like the product feels good.
I've always found PlayStation controllers to be really like the buttons always really cheap.
Yeah, he said nothing really lights up apart from that little blue bar there between the big touchpad thing.
Can you still do the blowy thing?
Probably, I reckon. Yeah, well, obviously backwards compatible with Tsushima, you must do the blowiness.
Yeah.
Wait,
so is it back? Can you play PlayStation 4 games on the PS5?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can't play PS5 on the PS4 games. Controller. Yeah, it sucks. I realized the blowy into the controller.
Yeah.
It's because there's a mic in that one.
There's no mic in PlayStation 4.
That's right. There's no mic in there. So, but you've got speakers, you know, like little sounds and stuff, but there's no mic. So I guess no mic. So this will be the new extra feature as well. Of these
microphone. So you don't need a headset to shout profanities.
Shout at your controller.
Yeah. I can imagine like in like Call of Duty lobbies, they'll be sitting there and there'll be the one guy who's like, mum's like shouting in the background with the other kids.
Be like, shut
There's
up.
like somebody's like making like smoothies and then like dad's like lawn mowing and then
all in one room. It's like, God damn it. Yeah.
And you're eating chips and it's like the one guy, it's like, and you just hear all that and the guy's like, yeah, there's an enemy on the left. It just happens all the time.
Does that mean people are gonna be like having to turn off that mic in their controller?
I think it's gonna come turned on by default.
Yeah, by default, right? It's
I don't think it will, but if it does, it's gonna be disastrous.
Yes.
Dude, like,
imagine jumping into a map with like 100 players and there's so much noise.
Yeah. And imagine you're just talking to, like, I don't know, you're sitting next to your mate, you're just talking about crap and you're playing a game, like one of you or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're talking shit, but then it's like other people are hearing you, everything you say, you don't know if it's on or off, like.
Oh, that's kind of
There must be a little light, right? There must be a little light on the controller to say, hey, the microphone's on.
Oh, I wonder how that's gonna work now. You got me thinking. There's so many possibilities of this being a bad, bad thing.
I just think it's gonna be hilarious. I expect a lot of people be like, yeah, when you jump into lobby, make sure you just mute everyone as soon as you get in, or turn off your own mic. It's like it's just gonna be. But that means you don't need to buy the headset, really.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, depending on how sensitive it is, because you have it like at your belly or chest area, or wherever you hold your controller, right?
Oh, right. So this is how I hold.
Yeah, this is how I play my games.
I like to really get in there.
So immersive, yeah. Get my face in on it. I don't. Yeah, it's cool, but it's gonna cause issues.
I'm actually surprised the other one didn't. I for some reason I thought it did, but it does have a little plug to add stuff in there.
Oh, you know what I love about these things and what they brought into the PS4 controller is the headset jack and the controller.
Yeah.
So amazing. Like, why didn't they do this before? It's such a nice feature.
Does the PlayStation 3 not have that?
I don't think so. I think that was a PS4 feature, and I'm like, when I used this, I was like, this is so good.
So does that mean you'd have to plug it into the console, have that like wire running to your headset, and then have a wireless controller?
No. I use a headset and just plugged it straight into
the
the controller.
No, I know, but before the PS4, I mean.
Oh, yeah. It was just Wire City and PS3 times, I suppose. But then you had a wireless controller that just didn't have the headphone jack.
Right. And you can still do Bluetooth through it for headphones. Bluetooth headphones for... Because you can plug in a receiver in the back. I remember that. Like, I think there's a lot of headphones that came out that came with, like, receivers that worked with PlayStation 3.
Oh, those Logitech headphones, I think they're Bluetooth with the PS4. They're compatible.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not really solving that much. But now now the... Okay.
But look, 56%, to be technical, bigger batteries.
Right.
But extra features.
They take up battery, yeah.
So maybe that negates the size. So maybe this.
I think you still get 8. What was it, 6 to 8 hours?
Oh, I think you get like 4 to 6 hours out of the current one.
Right, 4 to 6 hours.
But the guy does say that it's about 3 hours longer.
Wire City, that's the name of your new show.
Wire City, yes, exactly, yeah.
The
old console ways.
Let me ask you this: you saw that game in that last video that we saw of you blowing and it spinning something.
Yeah, what is it? Robot something. The playroom, the something.
Whatever
playroom.
it was.
Yeah.
Tell me one other game that's not a kid's game that's going to use the blow-o-matron. What do you think that could be used for?
Oh, you know what I think? When you're like a pirate or like a sailing... like a sailing simulator of some sort. Well, like, what do you blow on things in real life? Birthday, like if you have a birthday cake, you blow on the candles.
Yeah, all right. So a scene in Call of Duty, instead of press F to blow out candles, you just go blow out candles with your controller.
Call of Duty, you blow up candles?
No, because in Call of Duty you have this scene, and it's become a meme where like you go to like a funeral and you stand there, and it prompts you to press F to pay respects.
Yeah.
Like, it's just prompting you to press F to pay respects.
And that does nothing.
No, and you pay respect. But there's a game, inside the game, there's a scene where you actually get to, like, be involved in a funeral to press F to pay respects. I think the more times I say it, the more ridiculous it sounds. But there'll be a scene like where you have to blow out a candle
on my controller. Yeah.
Oh no, I meant my PC.
Okay, on PC. Right.
But it's on controller too. I think it's like press square or whatever.
But
triangle.
That's a good question. Wherever are we gonna use the blow feature? I mean, okay, let's think of a big AAA title like a GTA 6.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do? Where has your character ever needed to blow on anything in a game?
I had a thought. You know, in like classic. I'm thinking Indiana Jones. You had like the tribesmen. If you ever play a game as a tribesman, they got those like
the blow darts.
The blow darts. So maybe that.
Yeah.
But that's still not quite really.
Like, that could be like an Uncharted thing, or actually in Ghost of Tsushima you do that.
Yeah.
You've got the poison darts.
But again, that would just be so ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
imagine
you're like aiming and you're like,
and you're eating a bag of chips and you're like, well, now's not the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it just feels gimmicky. Like
gimmicky. Yes, it won't be used that much.
No.
I don't think.
I think it'll just be a mic. There will be. I bet you there's going to be a game where you have to say things.
Yes.
There will be like say the passcode, and it's like the passcode. Say it. It's like passcode 1 2 3, and then
Voice
like,
activation.
Yeah, voice activation, or like shout into the controller.
What if you can't talk? What if you're like those mute? What if you're mute?
Those mute.
What if those mute people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, they're gonna have to have an accessibility thing for people
turn
who are
off.
mute. Yeah.
Turn off blowimatron.
Yeah. Blow it. Well, they can blow. They just. Oh, I suppose.
Turn off voice activation.
Yeah. Well, mute people can talk. Wait, no. But so there's people who can't hear, but they can talk. But are there people that can't talk at all?
Yeah,
but they
mute.
still make a noise, right?
No, mute is no noise.
They can't.
They
talk
can
at
hear,
all.
but they can't talk at all.
So their vocal cords are.
Yeah. The voice box is
Right.
gone. They can breathe, obviously,
Yeah.
but no sound can come out.
Wow. Oh, wow, I'm really struggling to imagine a person that can't make a noise with their mouth at all.
Yeah, I mean they just use
blowing
sign
my-
language, you know.
Yeah. That's
I've been watching Dark,
wow.
and there's a sign language couple of characters in there, and I just think it's amazing how people can communicate while doing the sign language. It's impressive.
Yes, yeah.
Like that language, like that I move my fingers in such a shape,
and each one is like a word.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
What was that? Helen Keller.
Yes, so it's a lady that she was the woman who couldn't see, she couldn't hear.
Go on.
So all she was left with was touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Touch and taste were the last two things.
Yeah, so Azure Australia says, how are Aussies going to enjoy PlayStation 5 games with fiber to the node speeds? One game taking 1 year. So I've got fiber to the node, and I get between, like, this is on a daily. It changes with the weather, but about 60 megabits down to like 90 sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I tried downloading Modern Warfare, that Warzone one on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And it was 180 gigs.
180 gigs!
And I don't think it's done to this day because
Oh
I left it
my
on,
God.
and then like my wife was complaining the internet's slow, so I turned it off, and I was like, I'll turn it back on another day. But it still is not done. I think it's like 40%. Like it's just taking so long.
Jeebus creepers.
So, Warzone's free, by the way, if you want to jam it out on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, by the time I downloaded,
Yeah.
PS5 will release.
Exactly. And then we've got Pog saying Guitar Hero Woodwind version. Oh yeah. Like, you know, that's cool.
Yeah, you could like play like the harmonica and like a saxophone and a clarinet and stuff. Yeah.
I can really see that being like the #1 seller in the Sony PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
And text to speech. Well, that's what we were saying before. Like, if you have to use, like, if you're a mute and you have to use a text to speech where, like, there's a game. Let's say you're playing like some spy game where you have to like say things, or you know, that's going to be concerning.
That's Look, I think they will have a workaround for that.
I'm sure they will.
For those things. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can move on to our next topic.
Yep.
And
that is.
hang on, has this one? Oh, let's look. We're on PS5 still.
PS5
Let's talk about this because
Keep-
we're going to jump onto Xbox topic, but we've got two more things here about the PlayStation 5. So both kind of tie in together.
All right. Brilliant.
Okay, so this article here is apparently it's unsubstantiated rumors.
Yeah.
But apparently, the PlayStation 5, hopefully it doesn't play sound.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 will not be getting full 4K 30 frames on some games because it'll be upscaled, probably the checkerboard type thing.
Yeah. And this Jeff Grubb guy, the supposed insider, he's the news that he's getting here is so Capcom's latest game, the Resident Evil 8. Supposedly that's a 1080p 60 FPS game, and they say they're struggling to get anything more than that on the current console PS5. Why is that
PS5
the case?
or 4?
The new console PS5, which it will release on because it's a next gen game.
Right,
It's
and they're
that one
saying
that we saw where like the guy's face looked really good, like
Yeah,
you know the
yeah.
old
And they're saying they're struggling to get above 60 1080.
yeah 60
Okay.
1080. It is possible. There have been other people that have spoken about this now as well, and they said, look, yes, you know, when games are in development, there's a lot of issues when you're in the development stages. You come across a lot of roadblocks, and maybe that's actually true that point in time, or maybe earlier, that's the case. You know, moving forward to come launch day, maybe it's going to be a 1440p game. I don't know.
Right. Okay. So this is what we had a discussion about this earlier in the week, where the development cycle means that once the developers get a little bit used to with the system, they grow to know it better and can develop games better and stronger, faster, and da 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 da. Yes. And so potentially games coming out in the first year might not perform as good as what might come in Ghost of Tsushima at the end of its life, or like Last of Us 2, which both games looked incredible, but they were still not 4K either.
What games? The last games.
But they looked beautiful. Yeah, they were absolutely stunning.
You're absolutely right. And I think 4K gaming was first introduced on this current gen in 2016. Like the Pro was supposed to be, hey, this is 4K game, but it really isn't.
But it really isn't still.
It really isn't still. And before that, we just had 1080. We actually had below 1080 upon the release.
Yeah, isn't it incredible?
Yeah, we had like 900p on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And then we had 1080 on the PS4.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I have my doubts about this new generation.
That it's not going to be 4K.
No. It's going to be 1080p, 1440p at 60. And I think 60 is probably a better number to aim for than resolution. But
I think it is.
We are getting big. Let's be frank, though. There is a lot more 4K TVs than there were in bloody 2015, 16. Okay? Yeah. There's a lot more than. They're a lot cheaper now. And people will be expecting, hey, I've got this TV. I've had this TV for years. Why can't my brand new console hit 4K on this TV? Why does the resolution go, and they're bigger too. So you can really tell if it's lower.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When you have like a 70-inch in your house, you're like, whoa, this 1080 looks chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like 1080p TVs have been phased out now, right? Can you still buy one? Are you...
Adventure Time?
Adventure Time. All right.
So...
Because I feel like 4K is the new standard, right?
Who's the best... Oh, JB. They're not the best. Sorry, we're not advertising JB.
They're the JB, buy stuff.
But they have a range of TVs. Oh, so does Harvey Norman's, right?
Yeah.
But if we say...
if you go TVs.
TV, and... Oh, no, the movie, sorry, TV's there.
That's the third one,
I can't see from here. I'm blinded.
Wow, 22 inches. Whoa,
so let's go all TVs.
All TVs.
And then I think there's a filter.
A filter, yeah. Oh, you can HD. Look at that.
But look at the breakdown. 4K Ultra HD 90. There's only 9 8Ks.
So those are the top.
Okay, so what's the difference in full HD? So that must be 1080p, and that's
720p.
Let's have a look at 720p.
What
One TV?
No, it's like 4 TVs, whatever these are.
Okay,
so are these only 720p TVs?
Yeah. Well, let's take the cheapest one. It's a 24. Who would buy a 24-inch TV? Like,
well,
HD resolution.
People have budgets.
No, I know, but the price difference.
Look, resolution 768. So that's like a 720p TV. Whoa! Wow. Well, you can still watch Blu-rays, but just not full HD.
No, and TV-wise, it'll be absolutely fine for you because you won't.
Wow, 2020 guys, you can still buy 720p TVs.
HDMI, 2 HDMI inputs there. RCA, optical audio. Wow,
It's got all the features. Wow, 1 year manufacturer warranty.
This manufacturer warranty is absolute crap, right? Because in Australia, we have a minimum of 2 years for mostly everything. So I don't know why they put that sort of crap.
Wow.
JB Hi-Fi. And actually, JB's has this little booklet, depending on how much you pay, is how many years you get.
Oh,
and I bought a Vive from them for $1,400. I had 3 years warranty.
Oh, super.
But that was above and beyond what the national the laws are, which is 2 years. And it's not really like 2 years. It's like an expected lifetime of things. So when Apple says they only give you 12 months, it's absolute crap. They give 12 months to every person around the world except in Australia and New Zealand. They have to do what the law says.
Did you know that Samsung has this like lifetime warranty on TVs?
What? This Samsung?
This is Falcon or something, but
no, your TV.
The Samsung, well, like just Samsung TVs. Supposedly they have this like this fine print somewhere, because I have a friend and his TV, after a decade, it broke down. So he contacted Samsung and he's like, "Look, I know my TV's probably out of warranty. Like it's been like a decade, but it's just recently had some faulty issues." They said, "Don't worry. I guess we'll just replace it for you." And they gave him a new model. Free of charge. Replaced it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's insane. I've never heard of anything like that. But yeah, they just gave him a new TV. They basically, well, it was the lowest end, but
After
it was
10
a brand
years.
new. Yeah. So
yeah.
basically, it went from like 1080p to 4K, but he got like the lowest tier model. So that's kind of nice.
What other companies? Maybe somebody can let us know in the chat if you guys know of any other companies do lifetime warranties. Because I remember there was a few.
Unless that was they've changed their policies since.
Maybe.
But that was still a part of the lifetime
Because
warranty.
so that's the thing. Lifetime warranty isn't your life.
No, it's like 25
25
years.
Yeah, or 24
And
in
that's what it
Australia.
must have been a part of. Yeah.
I was just gonna. Pog here was talking about 8K, right? 8K TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just gonna jump to 8K and see how much they cost. So
8Ks are expensive.
the cheapest TV was $169, right?
Yeah.
And should we just check what's the most cheapest 4K TV? Let's just see
all
that
right.
first.
See.
So
Cheapest
this is
4K.
4K. Let's just see what the cheapest 4K TV is. 395.
395, 55 inch from TCL.
That's so cheap.
Whoa, that's cheap.
Oh no, but hang on, it's X display, so let's just skip that because that's crap.
Ah, right. That's
and it's Falcon.
It's another one of those yucky Falcons.
I'm gonna reach out to Falcon and be like, "Yo, dogs, you want to send me some TVs for a
yeah,
review?"
just like that. Yo, dogs.
Well, because I was gonna review a Hisense TV, and I kind of did in one video, but
Yeah.
people were like asking about more, and I was like, "Oh, okay," but I never got around to it because I didn't have the tools for it. Because you can check the color gamuts and all sorts of things, and but I don't have the tools for it, so I'm not even gonna step into it. But I might just reach out just to troll. Okay,
Yeah, just
$600 is the cheapest 4K TV.
That's all right. That's really affordable in this day and age.
That is very affordable.
So which is why I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people have upgraded.
Pog says, plot twist, the HGTV throws out 140 hertz.
Yeah, get that 140 FPS.
All right, so let's have a look at the expensive and cheapest 8K TV.
All right, yeah. The cheapest 8K is going to be like a few thousand.
Okay, cheapest 8K, $4,000.
$4,000.
65 inch. Well, that's not cheap. Sorry, that's not expensive.
Well,
because remember when 4K came out?
Nanocell. Yeah.
I don't think you could buy a 4K TV for less than 3,000 grand at 55 inch.
So I guess 8K was introduced 2 years ago, I think.
When the Olympics were going to take place.
2018? No.
No, yeah, the last Olympics. Because they were streamed in 8K.
Wait, weren't the Olympics supposed to be this year?
Yeah, they canned it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, no, they were nearly going to can it for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And then they were like pushing, and then they're like, people are dying, and everybody's like, yeah, but maybe we can still do it.
Just maybe.
And they didn't. So they took a really long time to can it.
Okay, well, look.
Okay, so that's the cheapest.
LG or a Samsung fancy.
That's pretty
thing.
good. Like, I have to admit, that's not expensive.
But I don't know. Okay, going from 4K to 8K, so you're going from 8 million pixels to 32 million pixels. And
Math.
Yeah, math. Like
you can't drive that.
You can't see. I don't know. I wish we could see the have them right there to be like, can I see the difference?
Because yours is 65, right?
This is 65 4K.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I think Linus Tech Tips did a video about this. He had like a really hard time trying to drive 8K at even 30 or 60 frames. I think it took him like he had special cables. He had a very powerful PC. He couldn't even run it.
Because 2.1 at the time of that video didn't exist. I mean, 2.1 still doesn't exist, right?
2 or 4. I think it was 4. It was like each. They ran 4K monitors.
When is the release of 2.1?
2.1's out. I think 2.2 is the next one.
Okay. But what's the bandwidth on that? Like,
it's like 14 gigabits.
So you can get like 60 FPS
on 8K.
8K.
Yeah, you can.
Ah, wow.
Or then like 120 on 4K.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The first Samsung TV was 2018. I think 2018 had the first 2.1 feature on it.
Right.
Yeah, and that was the highest end TV. That was like a $7,000-8,000 TV.
So let's have a look at what the most expensive TV you can buy right now, and that is this one right here for $13,000.
What was the point of this? Something about PlayStation, right?
Full HD, but
Full HD, right?
But I just want to have a look at this. What is it? What do you get for $13,000?
A giant TV, 85 inches. Jeez, who has houses this big?
Well, yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, those are great for Australia because I feel like people have big houses in Australia.
Look at how thin it is.
And the United States. And Canada.
Oh, look, it's only first world countries that will be able to afford
only
this.
first world countries. Yeah, not only afford it, but actually have the space to put them in.
What is it here? Object tracking sound. Experience groundbreaking TV sound technology that follows objects on screen for amazing audio in your home. Yeah, because the TV's so big. If there's a guy speaking in the corner,
I can hear him in my toilet. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's
enough,
pretty cool. One clear cable. Messica's limited on. Oh, okay, right. So they have so this has a separate unit. So you mount the TV on the wall, and you have a little thin cable.
Oh yes! Those unit. Cables are amazing.
Yeah,
the one connect box thing.
Okay. So back to this, and PlayStation not being able to hit 4K. Well, supposedly, right? So it's a rumor, unsubstantiated.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think? Do you think the next generation, because the architecture is a little bit unknown, and you said RE8, was it?
Yeah. Resident Evil 8
is not going to hit
more than 1080p supposedly. But look, maybe it's the case. Maybe it'll drop and it'll be like, hey, 1440p 60 is all they could get out of it because they're learning about the hardware. The other thing they were saying is that the PS5 is a bit more complicated in terms of its architecture because of the draw power from the GPU and the CPU and how that operates. And there's some sort of a smart system with that Mark Cerny was referring to in his talk. And developers are still yet to understand how to work that thing.
Third-party developers. Or this is a first-party developer?
Yes, because Capcom is a third-party developer.
And now we look at Spider Morales,
which is first-party developer. And, they're saying, hey, we're going to get 4K 60
in an open world. So where's the catch?
So
in an optional mode.
Well, the thing is, the 4K 60 is the... what do they call it? It's a mode. There's a name for it. It's like a performance mode, right? That's what it is. It's a performance mode. So I think the ray tracing of it will be a 4K 30.
Right. So what they're saying is that if you go into this performance mode, it's going to turn off a whole bunch of features.
Yes, that's what will happen. But that's great. Because
it gives you an option. I suppose.
It gives you an option. It's like ray tracing is awesome, but like it's not like the be all and end all. If I were to play the two games side by side, I don't think I'm gonna be missing it as much as I think I will be.
Okay, look, ray tracing is unique in certain games, like fast-paced shooters. Ray tracing, who cares?
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Ray tracing, I think it'd look beautiful in the city.
Yeah.
To fly through the city like that. But I'd prefer 60 frames.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
Well, couldn't they just... Okay, let's say they're giving you options. Why can't they just make it like very, very open and say, hey, choose your resolution, choose your frame rate, and if you want, like in a PC, you choose what features you want.
I think
you match it up
later down the line.
You reckon?
I think because... the developers are going to give us more options. The easier it is for them to tweak it and whatnot. And they'll be like, look, yes, we have this for the hardcore gamers, but we have this so it looks good when we're selling the game. Like,
that's a fair point. Marketing the game, I think, is a little bit different than giving you options.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, this is something that not everybody thinks about. But let's say I'm a really big streamer. And I'm streaming these video games day in, day out. And I'm playing on a mode that gives me really high frame rates, but doesn't make the game look that great. And so the perspective of somebody watching me and going, oh, that game looks cool, I'd buy it, to the point where, oh, that game looks weird, I'm not going to buy it. Sony, or whoever is the developer, might be kind of losing control of how they want to portray their game out into the public.
Right. Are you saying that because Sony's like, make it look as best as you can? What? That's going to attack the performance?
Yeah. So if Sony's saying, hey, it's got to look fantastic, lower the frame rate, make it 34K, but it's just got to look brilliant. And then developers hey, Sony, but we're going to add all these really cool options where people can tweak things. And they're like, no, because that's not what we have a vision for this game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, PC has it because every PC is a little bit different, and you need to set it to maximize and utilize your system as much as you can to the...
Yeah. I think Sony is going to be a bit more, how should I put it? They're going to be a bit more tactful because they know that the competition has the edge in terms of their hardware.
Right.
And they can't just be like, because people are going to then flock to the better looking, the better performing games because players talk and they, these things leak out, they come out. And so
you don't want to create a mode that's going to make your game look worse.
Yes, you do. You don't. You want to have the option of a mode that will be able to compete with the other, console. But what's interesting is that even though the Xbox One, we're talking previous gen, was more powerful than the PS4 Pro by 50%, right? And Resident Evil 3 came out for that console. 60 FPS, 1440p for the PS4 Pro, and it was touted 4K for the Xbox One. I don't think it actually did 4K. It did like 1800p, something like that, instead of 2160, and it couldn't hit those 60 FPS. It was at like 45, 50 frames.
Right.
Yeah. 50% weaker hardware, and it was, if anything, it had better frames on the PlayStation 4. So if this guy's saying, that, it looks worse on the PS5, and there's only a 20% difference on paper. And I feel
you probably won't notice it. No.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is somebody that's trying to shock us with headlines.
I'll give you this. I just got Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. All right?
Yep.
I've got it on PlayStation 4. I mentioned to you ages ago that I love the game, but the frame rate just completely, takes me out of it. And it lags sometimes. Now, I've got the non-pro version, but, whatever. I have a bloody PlayStation. I should experience a smooth gameplay. Lower the resolution if you must, but, hey, give me smooth gameplay, because that's what I get from a console, right? You buy it, so...
But you have the PS4 OG, right?
Yeah.
Oh, which is like 1 T-flop.
Yeah, but that's the whole... No, but that's all my point, right?
Yeah.
Consoles are there that I pick up a game, I insert, and off I go. And I don't get into these things, and then I hear... Should have bought the pro version. That's not what console means to me. If I want that problem, I'll go build a bloody PC or get a laptop.
When did 4K TVs come out? 2008, 2006,
and off we go on an adventure.
Because I feel like when the PlayStation 4 released, it was an awkward time period, right?
There you go. 2013.
Oh yeah, that is a bit awkward. Okay, so 4K TVs came on board, and then this thing does 1080p or less. So it's like the TVs were way ahead, and then they were trying to catch up to that 4K market, but they really couldn't, and because it's going to be too expensive.
Right, but with that Horizon Zero Dawn, I just tried it on PC, right? I've got a 1440p monitor, and I was running it at 60, 75 frames. I got a 1080 Ti. It's not that great.
Oh, really? Is that the most you could get?
Yeah, I was like, games, but I bumped everything up quite high.
Yeah.
So the difference is night and day. The resolution might be similar. I think it was 1080p on the PS3 or whatever. Or
4.
And but the difference between 30 frames and 60 is night and day. And I absolutely enjoyed playing it then more than I did on the console because it was so jarring on the console.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This is going to be lovely to see 60 FPS.
Yeah, so to me, they're trying to add, go 4K, but I think it's the frame rates that they need to worry about.
Yes. Yeah. I think we're still going to have our cinematic 30 and... was it DLSS?
Yes.
Do you know much about that?
So DLSS is the non-NVIDIA... Sorry, it's a non-ray trace. It's the free people's ray tracing.
The free people's
it's like ray tracing. It's like you can use DLSS or ray tracing and it gives a similar effect. I think that's the one. I guess I can...
DLSS, right? Because there was a recent, Control, the game Control that released on consoles and on PC. Beautiful game, awesome game. Except it really tanked on the consoles, right?
Oh, okay. So DLSS is something else for anti-aliasing to do something.
Yeah. So because there was a recent upgrade with DLSS, which was also implemented to assist with Control using that feature a lot better. And so the frames improved, the stability improved. So this is optimization at work, because the hardware is the same. It's still a PS4 Pro or the OG or the Xbox or whatever. But because of this refresh of the DLSS, the game performed so much better. Now it's like a stable 30, and this is just showing that, you know, developers have so much power at their disposal that they can really make or break a game.
But why not day one?
Time and money. It's time and
money.
Right,
so you want to get to market, get that game out there, make your money, and then maybe improve it later.
That's
an unfinished product. That's an unfinished product.
But that's why, like, RE8 right now is it is a 1080p game right now with 60 FPS. Yeah. And then we'll probably get a patch, like when it releases, and then afterwards we'll get a patch for it to be more stable. Not Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3 was a perfect example. It dropped as a 30 FPS game.
Yeah.
Then they had a patch to make it 60 FPS.
Without reducing the resolution.
Yeah. They doubled the frame rates.
They probably like removed all this like crap from the game. They're like, that was just slowing down. We just removed all these.
Yeah. Too much light.
Too much light.
Just turn off light. Increase the frames.
We got a couple of comments. Ray, I'm sorry, the music cannot be restarted. It was played once and the disc exploded. Pog says, I doubt a new console would have the power to run at 8K, but I would have thought that devs would be better at optimizing the code by now.
Yes,
that is a good point.
We will see 8K. Well,
there's been 5 PlayStation 5s. Yeah. Why aren't they better at developing? Those damn developers.
Oh, what do you mean by having games developed on these things?
Well, okay, so it's been 5 years. Every year, everybody knows that there's going to be... Oh, sorry,
5 years.
Sorry. There's been
five
consoles, and every time there's a generation, we have the same conversation. Oh, but developers will get more developy with their development and make the development of the games better to be...
Developed.
Right? That's the same conversation we had when the PS3 came out. They were saying, hey, we're going to get better, and yeah, they did, but right at the end.
But PS3 was a disaster. It took 2 years for them to kind of...
But then PS4 had the same thing.
But PS4 was a big improvement, which is why we got a lot of better games.
Why aren't developers a part of the conversation in regards to PlayStation 5s?
They are more now. Like PS4 was basically, the developers were like,
now.
Screw you when the PS3 dropped. And then... You know, Sony's like, fair enough, we're going to improve it.
I don't think that's what they said.
Okay,
right.
I think this action spoke louder than words. But now when the PS5 is coming, like, it's even faster and easier for the developers to be like, okay, we know what we're doing. Development times is really, improved and
Sorry, I was gonna move on to the next topic.
We probably should.
We're a bit over time, but we usually start early, so we'll just take it on the chin.
A question about HDR. What is
HDR all about then?
Yeah, what is HDR? High dynamic range.
Yeah.
High dynamic range.
Have you watched anything high dynamic range?
Yes, okay. I watched the Green Book on Amazon Prime, and I saw high dynamic range in action.
The only subscription service that doesn't have a tier for HDR 4K.
I love that. It's so good.
It's like, I'm not going to bother... anyway, go on.
It's just, 4K HDR. What I noticed there when I was watching it is the colors, they really... The saturation is so strong. Like, the colors really pop. The contrasts are just really powerful. And so that's what I understand visually for HDR to be. Is you have a broader spectrum of colors.
Well, it's a high dynamic range.
High dynamic range. Yeah. Yes. And you see that, and that's how it comes across to the human eye. The contrast is massive.
Yeah. And so it looked really good.
It actually shocked me. Like, you see the trees in the background and the road and the color of the car and the color of the sky and those it's like, it's beautiful.
Right. You're going to have to show me after the stream. I'll have to have a look. Because I just got AOC sent me a monitor to test, and it's HDR. And I literally just had to say, nah, don't even bother. And I think they've actually removed it from their marketing too.
Really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, it's actually bad. Like, it's an option, but it's bad.
So in monitors, are monitors having trouble with that, or is
monitors have a rating system. That's part of
Windows,
it.
yeah.
But they have a rating. Like, if it's below 400, it's not really HDR and you shouldn't buy it. At 1,000...
Is that nits? What is the...
I don't think it's nits. I think it's
nits?
just the rating. And we have to look it up on their site. But I think HDR 1000 is probably the minimum for monitors where you actually get that effect that you just described.
Right, yeah.
But you also have to remember most monitors are not OLED where it actually turns off the pixel.
Yeah.
So you've got OLED or...
QLED.
QLED, which is not OLED.
No, it's quantum dot LED.
But is it still dark on that contrast?
It is not 100%, so you get like pure turn off of pixels on an OLED, but on the QLED you get that effect to like a 98% value or something like that.
Right,
so you still get a black, but not a pure perfect black. You still get a little bit of what's called blooming. You get that little halo effect. Not all the time. It's actually, they hide it really well.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So OLED is when you sort of see the real darks, and that's just stuff that's really impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, there's two last topics I want to talk about.
Oh, yes.
And Halo Infinite's delay, that it's not going to be coming out as day one game for Xbox X. And, I mean, this says it there. You know, it's hard to overstate how damaging that is to Microsoft or Xbox. Do you think? Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, do you think it's actually damaging to them?
I think a little bit. I'm gonna say a little bit, but I'm gonna say to anybody who's thinking of buying an Xbox Series X, I think you should do that. I think you're gonna have the best experience of all third-party games. And I'm not a, you know, I don't pick sides. I want where my games look best, where it's going to be the best performance, yada, yada, yada. You know, if you want exclusives, go Sony. Yeah, for sure, they got it. Yeah. If you want best third-party looking games, I think Xbox Series X will be the place to go. Plus, you got your Game Pass, if that's your thing.
And I guess you're also answering the question we had in the Discord from XV Glambo, who says... I'd like to categorize myself as a casual gamer. I was personally keen to pick up the Series X on day one and enjoy Halo at 120 frames per second. You know, which one would you recommend? Like either, you know, the PlayStation or Xbox. But right now, I mean, Halo's been delayed.
It has been delayed, but that's a good thing because it just, for us gamers, we're going to get a better product. And we want a good product day one. And if it means that they delay it, cool.
Because the game didn't look that great. Like, technologically, graphically speaking, I think it was just terrible. Like, it looked like a 2012 game.
Yes, it looked like a current-gen game, but not really. A bad current-gen game.
Yeah, like even worse than current-gen.
Some things looked cool. Looked nice.
Yeah.
Looked smooth.
There's improvement, but...
But then there were things near the end of that trailer which were like, oh god, that guy's face looks really lacking in detail.
Do you think that's why they were saying that they can hit 120 frames? Because it's like...
because PS3 graphics. Yes. I think that's why the visuals are so low. But the world got hit with what it got hit right now, and I think the developers were scrambled and working on it and be like, hey, this thing's not really ready. But this is what we got, Phil, and Phil's like, let's see what the crowd makes of this.
You think it was that release of that video that made them...
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
People, you have the power.
You have the power, yes. And because of that reaction, the Microsoft team or whatever, they were like, yeah, this is going to tank if we release it. Let's do the right thing by the gamers, and let's get them, you know, a product that they deserve. And this is what we're getting. We're going to get something better.
Oh, thank you, Pog. Yeah. Really appreciate that. Glad to make your night better.
Thank you, Pog. Yeah, really, really appreciate it.
So I hope that answered your question from the Discord. Feel free to jump in there, guys, on the Discord. I'll link it in there. No, actually, it's just linked on the channel. You can check the links on there. Yeah. Have a chat, jump in there. Halo is such a... prominent name connected to Xbox and Microsoft that I think that this is gonna hurt them because the people who like the fella in Discord when they said that they were keen to buy it because of Halo and now it's delayed, I think there's gonna be a lot more people like that because Halo's such a big name.
Huge.
It's just a shame, but they shouldn't have said anything if it wasn't ready. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things like, if it's, how did you You knew you were building a new Xbox and you needed a flagship game. How did the one game that's synonymous with your platform become the thing that gets delayed?
I think it's the current climate we're in with what's happened.
Oh, I call bullcrap on that.
Yeah, okay, maybe you're right. Okay, so what? Things kind of slow down early in the year, which is... Okay, so
but it's only been 6-7 months, right?
Okay, 6-7 months, yeah.
Okay, CD Projekt Red delayed their game.
Yeah.
But this is Microsoft. That's CD Projekt Red. And I know people compare them to like big AAA developers, and they are now, but this is Microsoft, and this is their biggest game with the biggest launch of their biggest device in 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. How did they screw that up?
You know what I think?
Yeah.
What I think is going on, it's maybe the problem is a lot deeper than we understand it, that it looks like on the surface. Course, and I think because there has been so much pressure from management in Xbox, in Microsoft, that it's actually impacting employee morale. The stress that's happening, that's being put on the workers, is actually tanking their performance.
Oh.
I think they're having deeper, bigger problems than it appears on the surface. Because they're being hurried, they've got schedules, they have deadlines, they're probably working on very smaller teams or maybe cut down teams just to hit their profit margins.
Right.
And people are freaking out, and these are the mistakes that are coming out. Like, everything's in flames, everybody's stressed, and people going off sick. Like, this is the domino effect. I think that's at play here. Whereas Sony's kind of sitting back, chillaxing, be like, we've been like 5 years ahead of the game,
Okay, but yeah, look, I get that, but that's during crunch time, right? You get to a point when you're like, yep, maybe the game's not finished, but we didn't just not see an unfinished game. We saw a game that is nowhere near a AAA first-party developer quality. Delaying it by 6 months isn't going to... It just doesn't look like it's going to change.
Is it 6 months?
I don't know. I don't think there's a date for it.
No, probably not.
But I'm just saying, like, even let's say a year. Like, that a year is a long time to wait.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I'm saying 6 months because that's, I think... It says 2 years. Oh, no. So 6 months, I think, is the maximum they can go.
Would be delayed until 2021. So maybe next Christmas then.
But, when you're building a game... What did we figure out today? We figured out that Cyberpunk has been in development for 10 years.
Yes. Well, that's what we believe. We saw the first trailer 2013, which was 7 years ago. And they were probably in the development stage for the last 2 years before that even. So, yeah, we're
nearly a decade.
Yeah, coming up to a decade. And
it's a brand new IP.
It's a brand new IP. And what's fascinating is the current gen consoles haven't even been announced at that point in time.
Yeah.
So we were still in the PS3, the Xbox 360 era when that game was announced.
Yeah.
And now we're going to the next gen, and that's when this will release. So it's spanning 3 gens.
Yeah.
Before it gets released.
And that's a new IP, so everything had to be built from scratch, right? But I guess the point I was trying to make is Microsoft has been doing Halo since Xbox One.
Yeah, that's not a new IP. Is it because they're working on...
No, not one as in one, but like one, the first one.
Right, yeah. The first Halo.
No, like
the first Xbox. Sorry, yeah, the first, which was just called Xbox.
They should have been perfecting this. This should have been every year. Every generation. Halo should have been the benchmark for every single developer and other developer. And I'm harping on this, but I just can't believe
You're very disappointed.
I am very Microsoft, if you're listening to this, I bet you're not, but you might be spying on me right now because I have Windows 10. I'm disappointed. I'm not angry.
I'm just disappointed.
And I bet you're going to be disappointed when we end this stream on one last topic.
Yes. Phil Spencer won't be able to sleep tonight, man.
Any final thoughts before we move on to another Microsoft topic?
Oh, look. Earlier I said that the console war is over.
And
I heard this said by what's her name? That the ex-lady from IGN, Alana Pierce.
Alana Pierce
said it quite well, and she said, "Look, the console war is over because Xbox is doing its own thing. Microsoft it has its own angle. You know, they're working at.
They're not fighting against.
Yeah, it's not about selling. Okay, PS5. Yes, they gotta sell those consoles because that's the only way to reach their consumers with their games on that console. Xbox no longer needs to do that. All they need to do is to have people on their memberships. And one way to do that is to sell an affordable box that's going to be much cheaper than most PCs of that caliber. So, you know, great. That's an option. That's an entry point for people. Not only that, but they will have 2 entry points. One being this ultra budget one, which is the Series S. So you'll have that. You'll have the premium. You'll also have your own PC. Microsoft is no longer cares about, well, I mean, they would love to, but they don't care as much about selling their consoles. Whereas Sony, this is their one and only avenue to be like, buy a console. This is all we got to contact it. Yeah, this is all we got.
Please buy it.
Please buy it, yeah. Even more so, buy the one without the disc slots so we can sell more expensive games for you.
Question. Do you think Microsoft's made more of the discless version to drive people to buy it?
Maybe.
Imagine if they made less of the ones with the disc, and then every time you're in a store, you look in and go, that's out of stock, the one with the disc, and the one that's discless is in stock all the time. You're like, oh crap, do I wait or do I just get that one?
Yeah, I think people will be getting that one. I think because, people are not as patient as...
Whoa. Is that...
Yeah, I think they'll be going for it. But here's the thing. Okay, we're entering the new gen.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Microsoft's already ahead of the race because they already have like 15, 20 million people on the Games Pass, whereas people are just jumping on board on the PS5 train.
So you think they just skipped the war? They're like, we don't care about the war is over because they're like, we're going to go even beyond. We're going to do subscription games.
Yeah.
And the console's just not going to matter anymore.
Basically, it's like what happened is like there's a war going on and Microsoft said, hey, there's a new planet. Let's go build our stuff over there. And that's basically what I feel like has happened.
And you know, the refugees from the war are like, hey, we'll go to that planet. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And I think one of the other questions we had here was about the Game Pass. And yeah, absolutely. That's a game changer for a lot of people. Now, I have Game Pass. And I use it. Like, what? But
yeah,
I was playing Defiance the other day. It's got a funny name. Anyway, it's like a Skyrim thing. Really cool, but really deep and detailed, and you slash at certain angles. Anyway.
Okay.
It's an RPG. It's very long and winded, a lot of talking. Typical sort of Skyrim thing.
Right,
Remind me, Thomas here said...
Todd Howard will bring Skyrim to Xbox Series X. Yeah, problem solved.
That'll solve everybody's problem. But...
Oh, nice.
But anyway, they're actually taking it off. It actually says here, leaving soon on the Game Pass, that game will not be available. Ooh. And the only way to play it is for me to buy it. Now, it's not particularly expensive, it's like $40, but I was never going to buy it in the first place without testing it out.
Right.
Now I'm like, hey, I want to continue playing this. I might just buy it. And guess where I have to buy it? Well, guess where I buy it through to keep my save games?
Where?
Microsoft Store.
Microsoft Store,
and guess who gets a cut of selling it through the Microsoft Store? Who gets their 30%?
Microsoft.
Yeah. You know those comedies on Netflix where the comedian like starts a story with something and like completely does a loop and comes back to it?
Oh, right.
We just did that.
Yes.
30% cut of the Microsoft. That Games Pass.
Well played, Microsoft.
It will be like a trial demo for people to play a game. They'll advertise that, hey, this game is going away. You've played it 100 hours. It's going away. But if you buy it now, in the next 24 hours, you're going to get a 10% discount. But it's like $60 or something. Like, you could probably buy it, but you wouldn't have the save games that you've spent 100 hours. That is a second revenue stream from the Game Pass. Don't think it's all happy days.
All subscriptions. Yeah.
There is always a caveat out there.
You know, there's a rumor, and I get the feeling it could be true, that PS5 will allow you to demo every game.
What?
As a means to suck people in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, to be like, hey, you can try this game for 5 minutes or something like that, and have that for every game on the store.
What a game changer. So then you can be
like, I like this, and it'll get people to buy these games.
back in the days, you could walk into an EB Games and be like, hey, do you guys have any more demo discs? And they usually have like stack of discs and they give you, and there's a demo of a game that's popular or coming out soon or whatever. You get to play it for like a level, right? And once Steam came out and all that sort of stuff, there was never really a way to try a game. And in fact, Steam had this policy that you couldn't return a game because it was digital, but you know, the Australian government fixed that. In any case, you could play it for less than, I think, 2 hours within the first 2-week period or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And then you could still return it. It's kind of like a demo phase, right? If you didn't like it, if it was like bad. Do you think that if the PlayStation 5 network allowed you to demo these things, do you think that's going to lead to more people buying games, or more people going, actually, the marketing around this thought I was going to want to buy it, but it turns out to be crap, I'm not going to buy it?
I think it'll get people to...
Because there's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
If you have a game like...
I think maybe it'll push the developers to be like, that first 5 minutes of the game better be epic.
Oh my god. It's going to create more problems.
Yeah, more problems. Yeah,
like
they'll create the opening scene will be super epic.
Yeah, and then the rest of it will
be trash. Yeah.
Crap, that's really bad.
So yeah, I think the opening scenes of games are going to be like super epic now.
Yeah.
Potentially.
All right, final thoughts, Casper?
Final thoughts. I don't know. What was the theme of today? Do you think there was... Oh, we never got to the phone thing.
Oh, we didn't get to the phone. Okay, we needed... Okay, for the sake of Microsoft, one more. Oh, we've really gone over time. Okay. Jeez Louise.
Okay, talk to me about the Surface Duo.
All right. This is a phone from Microsoft, and it's a flip phone with a bezel in the middle. They didn't bother trying to make one screen. You know how Thingy did it.
Yeah.
And it comes in with a lot of benefits in the sense of, well, it's very expensive. That's not a benefit, but I'll get to that in a minute. So it's about 2,000 Australian dollars or 2,200.
Jesus.
It's a flip phone. It's quite large, and I mean, look, it looks pretty cool. It looks like you get a pen and everything. Like,
what are those two things?
Earphones.
Oh, okay, right.
And it can also basically be almost a laptop because the hinges. I was reading the hinges actually are very thick, and they
quite durable.
No, they sit, so you can fold it like that.
Right.
And yeah, they show a bunch of pictures and what it looks like, but...
How many inches is this?
5.6. 5.6. To 5.6, so...
Quite,
I think this is like...
What's that?
6 or 5.9 or 6 or something, 6.1 or something. So it's like two of these, so...
Oh, wait, so that'll be like one tiny as laptop.
Well, yeah, it is, but you know what? If you're watching a movie or like typing something, I mean, it's pretty cool. I think it's actually... I think it's a really good take on a foldable phone. Like, I'm surprised not everybody's done this already before, like, fully foldable phones came out, like, with this thing in the middle.
You know what kind of sucks, though?
Yeah.
Because you got the bezels in the middle, you can't watch it on the full screen. Like, you have to watch it on one or the other.
And that's... Yeah, absolutely. But it makes the phone a little bit simpler to manufacture and less prone to issues. Because... Right. Samsung's foldable one, it had to get recalled because people's phones had little dust get stuck, and then the thing would just like crack and they'd get stuff underneath the screen, right?
Yeah,
so much more engineering.
Cool concept though.
It's a cool concept, and it's out now, but it's so prohibitively expensive. But you know, it just seems like such a good idea, such a simple thing to make clever and. Let's see.
To make clever.
Sorry, yes. I'm trying to rush here.
yeah.
But it's such a simple idea that they took and really polished it up, and it looks really clever. Wow. You get quite a lot in this, and 360 hinge. Like, I mean.
Yeah, it looks quite premium. I mean, for $2,000, you'd hope it would be.
Yeah. I mean, this is for a business person who needs a lot of stuff. But it is a big phone. Like, if you flip it back onto itself, it's kind of like a big phone anyway.
What are the benefits? Okay, if you had one of these, what's the big benefit of owning it?
Exactly what they're doing there. I can open up an email, have it side by side. Yeah, right? I can look on the left. Like, I get annoyed when I'm on my phone. I have to flick through emails sometimes and open them up. It's a better view. Like, it's just productivity.
Right.
And the fact that you can use two apps side by side, like this, is actually, I think, a really...
It's quite handy, right?
Yeah, I think it's handy. And I mean, you could run your business from this.
Right.
Because a lot of the time, like
I'm
as
starting to see benefits.
as a salesperson, I don't need access to a computer. I can do everything off my phone as long as I have access to my emails and I have access to a web page. This could pretty much do everything I'd need it to do, and
yeah,
I can connect it to my computer as you saw there, and it syncs up to the computer, which is what Apple does. So this is kind of heading in that direction anyway. So I suppose something to note that Microsoft's going to connect it to your laptop so you can message in the thing here.
You know where my brain goes straight away when I see this thing?
Yeah.
I'm like,
look, that's how you type. See that?
Yeah,
that's
turn pages. Yeah,
but look, this is what you just wait for the typing bit. This is what I really liked about it.
Watch.
Look at the typing experience.
Yeah, the
it's
typing
just like
thing is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I was thinking, wow, this will improve my ability to when I'm talking to you on one page, and then I can send you memes at a faster rate.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen and ladies, if there is any ladies, I don't know why I say that, but you heard it here first. This Microsoft Duo, Surface Duo, is best for sending memes.
Yes. Improved your efficiency of memeing.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Pog. Hope you had a good one. Azure Australia, Ray. Keep going. Who else messaged? We had MMBBB9.
Oh, we got Azure Australia.
I said that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
okay, my bad.
Ritish, Lewis Tech. Thank you very much for joining. And Yellow, you were way early, mate. Sorry.
Nice.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all next week. Same time. Oh, yes.
Yes. Special episode.
We might have a few drinks in our hands, but we'll talk about it then. Casper, where can we find you?
We can find me at Game with Casper. There will be some fun stuff coming up soon. I know it's just a whole bunch of Ghost of Tsushima episodes.
Oh, I know.
It's just hour after hour of gaming. But I will be doing the review, which will be dropping next week. As well as that, I'm going to be doing some new stuff on that channel too. And we're going to have a playthrough of some upcoming PS4 games on there, myself and Patrick. I will also have an upcoming special guest on there too. Somebody different.
How exciting! Different than me.
Somebody different. I know. Don't worry. You're the number one guest on that show.
I'm the recurring character who's got an ongoing contract.
Absolutely, yes.
And
we'll the lifetime first party over here. That's what that is. Yeah.
We'll be doing the Tony Hawk one on your channel probably, and
I'm excited to see that.
Mafia
and Mafia the remake. So if anyone's keen on those games, come along. We'll be experiencing it first time.
I have an idea. This is really off topic, but could we stream the same thing to both our channels and then do Cyberpunk?
I like the sound of that.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in another one. Bye!
See ya!
How do I pause? Pause.
Yes. Yes, speech activated. Nice.